Good day everyone, and welcome back to the place where I repeatedly waste exceedingly long amounts of my time by riding back and forth on an infrastructure project that is essentially a very cheap and very bad copy of the railway lines that they have in countries like, for example, Germany, Switzerland or Japan, all because of the sadness and sourness I feel due to the fact that my country's railway network is completely horrific. But while this glorified autobahn is completely terrible, at least it's a bit more punctual than the Deutsche Bahn. I mean, welcome back to Continents, this time with episode number 9. So, you may have noticed that a lot of stuff has changed. For example, this is completely new. I don't mean this sign, though I think it is new as well. But this is completely new. This tunnel wasn't here last time, or it was, but now I have spruced it up, made it look a bit better for what it is, and yeah, now it looks good. And I did that off camera. I first did not want to record this, but it may have been a mistake, especially with this entry part, because I think it went very well and it would be a good time-lapse. But one thing that you may have also noticed is that the shaders are a bit different. I have been using Complementary Reimagined, and I decided to check out Complementary Unbound, which is another shader pack, but it is very similar. And I think I like this one a bit more, because it's the good lighting parts from Complementary Reimagined, but I like these clouds a lot more. Though I will give you a side-by-side comparison, so you can tell me which one you like more. Why can't I leave the boat? I am trapped. Never mind. Alright, I'll give you a comparison. Alright, so here's me bridge with Complementary Unbound, and here it is with Complementary Reimagined. And actually it isn't much different, but I think I like Unbound a bit more, especially because I do not like those clouds. They are kind of cool, but I don't know, it's not my style. What I also like about the Unbound variant is that ours glow. Oh hey look, all of a sudden I have teleported into my bedroom. Well, now what are we going to do today? Well, there's quite a lot of projects that I need to finish. So, I think we could start off with the station. The station here, because I do not like how it looks. I mean, the shape itself is good, the colors are good, but the texturing is lacking, to say it in a good way. I especially want to change those black or brown walls, and I want to add on some oak on them and just add a pop of color to it. So that's the first thing, and the second thing is actually also regarding a station, but that is all the way in the south in the shopping district. I want to actually do something with this, because it's been sitting here getting its logs stripped by people. I need to catch whoever did that. I think I did it. And it would honestly make quite a lot of sense if it was Kai, knowing their record. But yes, we need to work on that, and we need to work on the station. That's going to be interesting. Actually, we need to work on the stations. This is going to be an episode. Well, let me see if I actually have some dark oak, and let me see if I have any other terracotta that could fit. Oh, I seem to only have brown terracotta. That scares me a bit, because I don't want to use just dark oak. I want to use some other blocks that are also brown. Fortunately, Minecraft has a massive selection of brown blocks, so that is good. Yeah, I think I'll jump into creative and try to figure something out and make some texturing. I hate texturing. Though it was painful, it at least is actually very easy to pull off, because I only need some spruce and some dark oak. So I'll just go farm a lot of that, and then I will show you the design, or actually I should show you now. And oh yes, there will be a time-lapse. This episode will be very time-lapsey, and I know there are people of you who like to have such breaks from hearing my voice, and I do not know what to think about that, but let's now look at the design. So, design looks exactly like this. You'll first go with a stripped dark oak, then normal dark oak. Actually, let's make this one stripped as well. And then spruce, if I haven't forgotten already what it looks like. Yeah, this should work. And so you may notice that it firstly gives it some texture, parkour, and secondly, it actually makes a nice transition. So I will have to gather some of that, but I will then actually build this, and you won't see the gathering, thankfully for you, because it will take a lot of time. You will only see the building part, which is the actual fun part. So I'm going to waste even more hours on this project, and I will then time-lapse it for you, so enjoy the time-lapse. Ow. Alright, so I've completed the texturing, and I think this went well, although it is not very visible from some angles because of the shadow, but you can definitely see that it is a bit darker at the top, even though you might not see what blocks it's made out of. So I like this. I think it went well, and it definitely makes this building a lot better. We very often forget about how extremely important texturing is. Texturing can change a building, and from this angle I think it looks the best. Well, now onto the second thing that I wanted to do. Build the shop entrance. Well, a very glorified entrance at that. So, what are we going to be doing there? Well, let's take it over to the shopping district, where I will show and explain exactly what I want to do. And while we do set off, and while I do walk there, Iceway is still not finished, please enjoy a quick Continents news break. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Continents Evening News. Today is the date of... I forgot my calendar. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that probably, huh? Was I? Well, never mind that. This evening, join us with 4 news stories. The first one being a story about a massive pumpkin slated for winning this year's pumpkin show is eaten. Second story is about a viral video of a cat sleeping. Third story is about the fact that Melson is leaving us. No. And the fourth and final story is about Neatnot finally putting some work into like a 50-year-old project. The first story today brings us to Stonewall, a small town that has a big stone wall around it. But in this town, big things were going to happen, because every year the pumpkin show takes place here. And this time, local resident Barry Beetroot has had his massive and great pumpkin by the name of Ben eaten. Our interview with him went like this. Those were very wise words from Barry. The alleged criminal responsible for this terrible act has not only been caught by a camera, but also seen by an eyewitness, that being the neighbor's dog. Now turning over to our second story. In this story we can see a cat. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say here. Now turning over to the third story. This story is about the unfortunate fact that Melson is leaving us. In his last episode, he announced that he was going to be going somewhere completely different than where he was. It is possible that the place is only 50 blocks away from his current base, but it is still unfortunate. And I must ask, Melson, why are you leaving us? And the final story brings us where we will watch a builder notorious for his projects taking incredibly long time build something finally, and hopefully finish it for once. And so we are back here. I don't know what those cameras are doing there, but now let's work on this. And to actually work on it, we first need to know what to do here and what I want to build and what the landscape is like here. And before I get killed by some zombie, because I'm completely terrible at anything PvP, I'm going to sleep. So it's a new day, but work will commence on a fairly old project. Now, before we actually work on the station, I'd rather fix all of this up, all of the terraforming stuff, because it doesn't look good when the train is levitating, and it won't look good when the platform and the building is levitating, because I need to clear all of this up. All of these holes won't help much. So I will off camera get some dirt and build on that, and then I will go back home and gather some of the resources for the terminal building. Now you may ask, what do I want to do with the terminal building? Well, that's a good question, firstly. And secondly, I basically want to do an old brick building. They're quite common and they look very good, but the problem with them is that the resources are difficult to gather. I will need a lot of granite, probably quite a lot of bricks, which scares me because the last time I used them it was a horrific idea, because they're so terrible to make that I never want to use them. And we will also need some terracotta, which is nice as well, because I will have to head to the mesa. But that's fine, because if it results in a good building, then it's all fine. So what I am planning to build is something like this, or this. And those are cool buildings, and I think they would fit here perfectly. So yeah, enough talking about that. Let's get working on this dirt stuff. And while I do work on that, and while I do get the gear from my base, another news segment. Hello, and welcome back to the Continents news. And we are back with another story. This story is about a dog eating a watermelon. They do not pay me enough for this. I do not enjoy this. When I went into journalism, I thought I was going to change the world. I want to quit. So I was just in the process of gathering some deep slate, and I've actually gathered basically all of the stuff we needed, except for maybe glass, but I think I should have some sand somewhere, or we could just gather at the shopping district. But I just noticed this. someone has donated to the farm. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to take that. I'm guessing this is from Audionautix, because I don't think anyone else has been using the farm. So yeah, I'll take that once my inventory is clear, and I'll just check out if I have everything that I needed, and if I do, then we can go to the shopping district. Either way, I will meet you at the shopping district. So I am here at the shopping district, and I have just kind of laid out where this building should go. And my plan with this building is, as I've said, make it an older brick building, but I want to take a completely different approach while building it, and that is an approach of actually building the building around what it's meant for instead of just around the aesthetics. So I have planned out that this will be the main entrance hall, here will be the ticket stuff, and this area will be for the staff, and this area, this part, this wing of the building will be just one floor, except for maybe an upper floor here, but a small one, just so I can put a bed there. And this area will have a very high raised ceiling, because the station buildings very often have that. And this building has been built around the fact that I need some storage, so this will be a storage building, a very simple one at that. So I will start off with this storage building. I will see if my ideas work, and just to gauge just how much stuff I will need to use up, and if I need to go back to the base and possibly to that mesa. You know how long it took? Well, let's hope that we won't need more stuff. And so enjoy the time lapse. So I finished that building, and I think it went well. What I would like to note is that I did not use up everything, and yeah, that was good. And you might notice that some parts of this weren't in the time lapse, most notably the platform, and I did not put that in the time lapse because it would be just way too long. But yeah, I've built this. I think it went well. I especially like the texturing that I did, but it's not nearly finished. I just don't have much time left, so I will finish this later with probably some interior put in and some things like that. But yeah, you can now enter the trains very easily from the platform, and these cars will be where the stuff I will be selling will be. And yeah, I also built this storage building. You may have noticed that I first built these walls without the bricks because I made a massive strategic error. Some of you might even call it that I caught a skill issue. Now, the problem was that I forgot about the bricks completely, so I had to go back home and mine some clay and make that into bricks. And it made me remember just how much I hate making bricks. Yeah, those two buildings are done from the exterior, and once I get around to stocking the shop, I will also build the interiors. Also, while I'm at it, I would like to definitely make a path to the building from like that area here. Oh, jumped up onto. Oh yeah, you can jump onto that. While I was going around the platform this whole time. That was a waste of time, all that. But I think I'll make a quick path to this building from the whole spawn area, so people can get here more easily. So I'm now going to do that path and probably also do some terraforming here, because some things are still not finished, like this part here. So I will need to work on that. And also, finally, I would like to explain one thing, and that is that episode 8 went out like 3 weeks ago at this point. And this is only episode 9, so what happened? Well, I was away, I needed it, because life was busy and all that, and I needed a break, so I was away, but I will give you a hint on where exactly I was. That hint is this picture, and the comment from the person that guesses the place right the first time will get pinned. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. This episode was a ton of progress and I enjoyed it. I'm trying out some new creative ideas, as you may have seen during the episode. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, maybe subscribe. And thanks a lot for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and see ya.